events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queens.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
It's the one and only queen of receipts, is dropping gems in these YouTube streets. The lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss the wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true. Sex day, my kick, the words, my baby, can't even only be money say. It's like an earthquake, don't calling you out. Queen of close to head, just get it from the bound. Such a nice to play, easy, just a more for all.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. Okay, so let me make sure. Can you guys hear me? Because we had trouble with the volume yesterday. Once in the chat, if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Okay, before I start my whole spiel. CC Dan said, oh, I wanted to hear the rest of the song. Okay, so I gather you guys can hear me. Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Everyone, please hit that like button. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. At the end of the day, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, and as per usual, if you don't like what the queen is cooking, hey, this isn't the place for you. All right, so don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, Vince I am said, buy all wigs. Okay.
And so with that all being said, shout out to Vince I Am from the UK, Nessa G, Voodoo Life is here, Anita Harrell, Broken Silence, okay, TC Dan is in the house, Christopher, and shout out to my moderators putting in work, the lovely T, Luna, that Crazy Beach Aries, love her. All right, fancy me doing it. I hear you. Buckhorse DC, Nessa G, Cookie, Brand Slayer TV, Ice One is in the house. Let's get into it, Loyal Royals. Okay, so I told you guys last night. Hey, Luna. I told you guys on last night, Cherokee Citadel is up in here. Okay, so I told you guys last night after I reported that Jay-Z was in fact accused of rape right alongside his pal Diddy. Okay, now we probably see why he's been so darn quiet. Well, I told you I was going to come back with the full lawsuit, but also Tony Buzbee responded to that scathing statement that Jay-Z gave, okay? If you all remember, I mean, he was going in. So we're going to get into all of that. But first things first, let's start with this lawsuit so we can get all the nefarious details. Please pay attention. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me put my watermark on here. Okay, there we go. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about it because this is all nefarious. This is all nefarious, beloveds. Pay attention. Now, I told you all Jay-Z was next. And if you remember, almost a year ago, I told you all that Jay-Z was also accused of trafficking. Okay, I have the receipt and the timestamp. I need to verify myself. But anyway, and also, just for FYI, I also reported to you all about MIA, what she said about Jay-Z and the Brofmans. But now she's come out and said some more things about him. And we're going to get into that also. So please pay attention. It's about to get real messy. Okay, and then later on, around 6 o'clock this evening, we're going to be talking about Jay-Z and his connection to Satanism and the Hollywood witch. Okay, so please be prepared for that and keep your notifications on because I know you don't want to miss it. Okay, so now let's get into this lawsuit though. Now, this, of course, was already filed in October, but it has been amended. Okay, so previously it was Jane Doe against Sean Combs, Daddy's House Recording Inc. Okay, and then all of Diddy's enterprises basically, and now there has been added Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. So, defendant Sean Combs, aka Diddy, okay, we're going to leave out all of his names, okay, along with his longtime friend and collaborator, Sean Combs, aka Jay-Z, drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. Now, another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Many others were present at the after party but did nothing to stop the assault. Combs has been allowed for years to conduct himself in this manner without consequences. Now, he believes that he is above the law. He is not. His close friend Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described herein. Both perpetrators must face justice. Now, for decades, defendant Combs abused, molested, raped, assaulted, threatened, and coerced women, minors, and others for sexual gratification, to assert dominance and to conceal his abhorrent conduct. He accomplished these acts by and through a criminal enterprise built on his success as a rapper, record producer, and record exec. Now, Combs is one of the wealthiest musical artists in the world. Behind the facade of being a 3-time Grammy winner, discovering and developing multiple famous musical artists, and ranking on Forbes' list of the highest paid entertainers in the world, there existed something sinister, a dark underbelly of crime, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, and prostitution. And Diddy wants to get out on bail? Yeah, I don't think so. Combs is a menace to society, women and children. While his wealth has kept him above consequences for years, Combs now faces the awesome power of the American judicial system and ultimately a jury of his peers who will be asked to punish him for his deplorable conduct described herein. Combs's business enterprise is central to the pervasive acts of sexual assault and abuse committed by him during the last decades. Combs operated his business, headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles, under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Books Holdings, Inc., Bad Boy Records, LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment, LLC, Bad Boy Productions, LLC, Daddy's House Recording Studio, Inc., and CE OpCo LLC, doing business as Combs Global, FKA Combs Enterprises LLC, Combs Enterprises and Combs Global, collectively the Combs business. Now, corporate entities in the Combs business portfolio included record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits promoting business, a marketing agency, talent discovery, a television network, and media company. On the surface, each of these businesses served as a legit purpose related to entertainment, music, and other subjects. But in reality, Combs, by and through himself and his agents, employees, and contractors, used these businesses to actually assault, abuse, threaten, and coerce hundreds of individuals through sexual quid pro quo schemes, as well as to take advantage of individuals with impunity, thinking the victims would never have any recourse. Combs and his agents, employees, and contractors through these Combs businesses would tell victims, this is what it takes to be famous. What are you willing to do to become a star? And perform this sexual act or else. In exchange for the victim performing a non-consensual sexual act for the gratification of Combs and his cohort. All nefarious. Please pay attention, honey. I mean, had a whole casting couch for himself. Members and associates of Combs's business engaged in and are attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for the purpose of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics, offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And I want you all, as you're listening to all of these nefarious allegations against Diddy, I want you to also remember, okay, Fahim Muhammad purchasing that 198 acres of land out there by the southern border. And Diddy saying, according to Lil Rod in his lawsuit, Diddy allegedly saying that Fahim Muhammad can get rid of anyone or anything. I just have to question, are there any bones buried out there? Okay, because I find it all suspicious. And don't forget, you heard it here first when I did a very thorough report on that. Now, with that all being said, the Combs business constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a purpose of achieving the objectives of Combs. Diddy thought none of this was going to catch up with it. Now, Combs' pervasive history of sexual assault and violence. For years, Combs and his businesses engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women, men, and minors. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated both men and women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with both commercial sex workers and unsuspecting partygoers. Combs ensured participation from these individuals by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them with or without their knowledge. Controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation, violence, and illicit drugs. Combs particularly fancied the use of a popular date grape, a drug, Rohypnol, or GHB, to commit heinous non-consensual acts of sexual violence and rape onto countless victims. Combs often would secretly use the drug in an alcoholic beverage served at his parties. Partygoers were forced to consume the alcoholic beverage containing GHB either prior to entering or while at Combs's party. There are also allegations of Combs dousing victims in lotion or similar body oils also laced with GHB, so that the drug would be absorbed through the victim's skin and make it easier to assault him or her. Further, it is well known that Combs had a practice of lacing water bottles with other substances, such as Xanax, and distributing them at his parties. Combs' recurrent and pervasive physical abuse took place for multiple decades. His tendencies of violence and assault were well known amongst his colleagues, employees, agents, and businesses. See, a lot of these people knew, like I've been telling you guys, a lot of these people knew what was going on and just turned a blind eye. And some of them participated. But even the ones who didn't, they knew what was going on. And they just, they bore witness to these things and acted as if nothing was out of the norm. So they're equally as guilty. Now, on numerous occasions from at least in or about 1996 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women and men by striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. Combs also assaulted children, both physically and sexually. In 1996, Combs was found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer from the New York Post with a gun. In 1999, he was arrested and charged with second-degree assault and criminal mischief in connection with assaulting a record exec. Combs was arrested again the same year for his involvement in a shooting at a New York club. Another instance of violence occurred at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave his hotel room. When hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe staff members to ensure silence. In the past year, numerous civil complaints have been filed by plaintiffs to allege that they have been abused by Combs between 1991 and 2009. In November of 2023, 3 lawsuits were filed against Combs under the New York Adult Survivors Act. Cassie Ventura, an artist signed to Bad Boy, sued Combs in New York for rape and physical abuse. She alleged Combs facilitated these acts by and through supplying Miss Ventura with copious amounts of drugs and urging her to take them, beginning in 2006. Joy Dickerson-Neal also sued Combs in New York, alleging Combs drugged her, assaulted her, and secretly recorded the assault in 1991. Liza Gardner, whom Combs met at an event hosted by a record label affiliated with Bad Boy, sued him for raping her and a friend in 1990 or 1991 when she was only 16. In December of 2023, an anonymous plaintiff sued Combs in New York for drugging and gang raping her in 2003 when she was only 17 years old. This victim alleged that employees and business associates of Combs, through their affiliation with Bad Boy Enterprises, lured her to Combs' home, where Combs then raped her. In February of 2024, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, one of Combs' former producers, sued Combs for forcing him to engage in unwanted sex acts and sex trafficking, among other allegations. Mr. Jones alleged that Combs regularly drugged others, including minors, by giving them drugs laced with ecstasy, MDMA, and other date rape drugs. Mr. Jones alleged that Combs, in fact, drugged him as well in order to commit acts of sexual assault. In May of 2024, former model Crystal McKinney and April Lamprose sued Combs. Ms. McKinney alleged that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her at his recording studio in 2003. Mimicking what has now become a known pattern, Combs promised Ms. McKinney to help her with her modeling career in exchange for engaging in sexual conduct with him. Ms. Lamprose, an intern at Arista Records, which was an owner of Bad Boy, also sued Combs in May of 2024 in New York County Supreme Court for raping her on multiple occasions, secretly filming these acts and showing the records to multiple people, or the recordings to multiple people. Ms. Lamprose also alleges that Combs ordered her to take drugs on one occasion before he raped her. In July of 2024, adult film star Adria English, who was employed by Combs as an entertainer at his infamous white parties that brought together the biggest names in the music and entertainment industries, sued Combs in the Southern District of New York for trafficking, alleging that he required her to consume drinks laced with ecstasy and secretly recorded the sexual assault. Now, it is just my opinion that when Mr. Buzbee was amending this lawsuit, part of the amendment should have included him taking out the allegations by Adria English, because much of what she said, if not all, was absolutely lies. Okay? Most of what she said was lies as far as I'm concerned. Now, maybe the part about her being at the parties and doing this stuff with Jacob the jeweler, that's likely true. I do believe that, but I also believe that she did that because she wanted to get paid. Because, hey, she sat right here on my platform and said that she got paid for it. Okay? But let's continue. So In September of 2024, singer and songwriter Don Angelique Richard also sued Combs. Richard was employed by Combs as part of the girl group Diddy Kane, formed by Combs and later as a key member of Combs' band Diddy Dirty Money. She sued Combs in New York for assault, false imprisonment, and for subjecting her to hostile working conditions due to her gender, including degrading comments and threats. Ms. Richard also alleged that Combs regularly supplied others, including minors, with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol and subjected them to sexual acts while they were sedated and or unconscious due to the drugs and alcohol. Ooh, Diddy, you are never getting out. Now, in September of 2024, a federal grand jury in Manhattan indicted Combs and charged him with trafficking, racketeering, and the creation of a criminal enterprise in which he abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Now, the indictment explains that Combs's abuse of women and minors was enabled and conspired with by the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, as trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And according to the prosecution, he's still obstructing justice while he sits behind bars at MDA. Now, Combs' long history of violence against women unequivocally establishes that his actions are motivated by gender, both men and women. Combs has a profound contempt for women and a desire to dominate both minors and other men. His conduct shows a long-standing practice of degenerating, defeating, and attempting to humiliate men, women, and children. Didn't I tell you guys that Diddy was committing these humiliation rituals? This is exactly what he was doing. His practices and desires are different for men, women, and children, but his actions are unequivocally motivated by the victim's particular gender and age. Plaintiff's allegations herein substantially mirror Combs' prior conduct as established through criminal indictments and other lawsuits. Through this case, plaintiff seeks a full measure of justice from a man who thought his power, money, and influence rendered him untouchable. Plaintiff joins many other victims by filing this complaint in hopes their common voices makes it impossible for Combs to assault another person ever again. Defendant Carter is like Combs, a wildly successful rapper and businessman. Carter and Combs have a long-standing history together. Carter met and began collaborating musically with Combs in the 1990s. Combs and Carter rose together to the very top of the hip-hop industry in terms of fame and influence by the end of that decade. Combs and Carter were not simply occasional collaborators in the music industry. The two men developed a close friendship that has been well documented from the late 1990s to the present. Together, they attended countless music and industry events for each other's business ventures, parties, and after parties. Remember what Jay-Z said, after the party is the after party. Indeed, the two are apparently so close that Combs stated in 2023 that Carter is the only person other than Combs' mother who is allowed to call him by his legal first name of Sean. In 2000, near the height of their fame, power, and influence, Combs and Carter attended the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. Afterwards, Combs hosted an after-party for many of the most famous celebrities in the music and entertainment industries, including Carter, which is where the events alleged in this complaint occurred. Now, plaintiff Jane Doe is a female who resides in Alabama. Defendant Sean Combs is a male who, on information and belief, resides in New York City through incarceration in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. On information and belief, at all relevant times, Combs owned and are controlled Bad Boy Entertainment's Holding Inc., and then they go on to list all of his enterprises. Now, the facts of Combs' ownership and titles at the Combs Corporations enabled and conspired him to commit the unlawful sexual violence against plaintiff described herein. Defendant's Daddy House Recordings, Inc. is a domestic business corporation that is incorporated in New York, and on information and belief, now its principal place of business at 9255 Sunset Boulevard, second floor, West Hollywood, California, 90069. Now, Combs is listed as the CEO in public filings with a listed address of 1710 Broadway, New York, New York, 10019. At the time of the events alleged herein, Daddy's House was a world-class recording studio owned by Combs, located at 321 West 44th Street, Suite 201, New York, New York. Now, on information and belief, at all relevant times, Bad Boy and Combs together owned and operated Daddy's House. On information and belief, the Bad Boy recording studio was located on the premises of Daddy's House. Combs used the Daddy's House brand, a stature, and their ownership and titles at Daddy's House to commit the unlawful sexual violence against plaintiff described herein. Defendant CEO, OpCo LLC, excuse me, Combs Global, doing business as Combs Global, FKA Combs Enterprises LLC. Combs Global is a limited liability company incorporated in Delaware that has its principal place of business at 9255 Sunset Boulevard, second floor, West Hollywood, California, 90069. On information and belief, all members of Combs Global are citizens of Delaware, New York, and or California. On information and belief, Combs Global is an alter ego for Combs and or a successor in interest to Combs' other corporations and or was established or used by Combs for the purpose of moving, disposing of, and or insulating his assets, including in connection with his criminal activities to avoid liability. So basically calling him out about these straw companies. Okay, please pay attention. Money laundering, anyone? Combs Global currently owns, controls, and or oversees Bad Boy and Combs' other business ventures in the music, fashion, fragrance, beverage, marketing firm, marketing, film, television, and media industries. Now, as part of his renowned Bad Boy record label and brand, Combs has established several corporate entities under the Bad Boy name over the past few decades, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Inc., Bad Boy Productions Holdings, Inc., Bad Boy Books Holdings, Inc., Bad Boy Records, LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment, LLC, and Bad Boy Productions, LLC, together, Bad Boy. On information and belief, all of the Bad Boy corporate entities are alter egos of Combs, or for Combs, are controlled and or directed by Combs and or were established or used by Combs for the purpose of moving, disposing of, and or insulating his assets, including in connection with his criminal activities and to avoid liability. On information and belief, all active Bad Boy entities are now owned and or controlled by Combs and or Combs Global. Combs used the Bad Boy premises, recording studio, and their ownership entitles to Bad Boy to commit unlawful acts against plaintiff described herein. Okay, now I'm going to skip down past some of this because this is just being repetitive at this point. You're going to get to the night in question. Okay. Defendants' organizational does 1 through 10 are currently unknown entities who were owned by and or employed by defendant Combs and enabled and conspired with the commission of the conduct complained of herein. As the parties engage in discovery, plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint to add these entities by name. So defendants, individuals 1 through 10 are currently unknown celebrities and or persons of interest who enabled and or conspired with the commission of conduct complained herein. As the parties engage in discovery, plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint and add these individuals by name. I don't know why I said that twice. Okay, now goes on to say defendant Sean Carter is a male who, on information and belief, maintains residences in both New York and Los Angeles. Defendant Carter is more commonly known by his industry name of Jay-Z. Carter was identified in plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Now, prior to the filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiff's lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates, all in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. Now, here's why I want you all to pay attention. Here's why I want you guys to pay attention because the thing of it is Jay-Z was allegedly, according to Tony Buzbee, harassing not only the plaintiff, but him as well and his family, engaging in harassing tactics. Okay, and this is all similar to what Diddy has been accused of. Please pay attention. Okay, birds of a feather. All right, because Diddy was accused of doing the same things. Now, and even as he sat in jail, as he sits in jail. Okay, so anyway, this effort was meant to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetrated by Carter. Each of the Combs corporations aided and abetted Combs in committing the unlawful violence against plaintiff described herein. So they go on to talk about those businesses basically completely dominated by him and used for personal interest and to engage in wrongdoing which harmed plaintiff and others, okay, and or to serve or have served as vehicles for Combs to move, dispose of, or insulate his assets, including in connection with his criminal activities, and to avoid compensating the victims of his many crimes. So Diddy was basically trying to hide his money, is what he's saying. That he's basically been trying to hide his money in case if he ever gets sued, he won't have to pay up all of the things that he owns and possesses. Now, this court has subject matter jurisdiction. Okay, we're going to skip past all of that and get to the factual allegations. Okay, on or around September the 7th of 2000, plaintiff, then 13 years old, had a friend drive and drop her off near Radio City Music Hall in New York City so she could try to attend the Video Music Awards. Attending the VMAs was on plaintiff's bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Plaintiff was very excited. As the event began, much of the crowd moved inside, but plaintiff, without a ticket, remained outside while with others and watched the VMAs on a jumbotron. Now, determined to get into the VMAs or an after party, she approached several limousine drivers parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked the younger girls and said she fit what Diddy was looking for. And while not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the events and that he would pick her up and take her to the after party. He needs to be in jail too. Okay, he absolutely needs to be in jail too if this is all true, and I believe it is. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed to her a long time. The driver eventually returned and drove her what she described as the after party. Now, after approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a document, which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes to have been a non-disclosure agreement. She was told that she could not discuss what happened at the party, and she gave the men her name and signed the form, but did not receive a copy. Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talk to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she had wanted to see at the VMAs. Now, I want you all to pay attention because you mean to tell me all these other celebrities there didn't realize that this was a 13-year-old child? They didn't know this was a child. I want you all to pay attention because I have long been telling you guys that at the end of the day, the bottom line is that many of these people who claim they left early were absolutely there when they saw people who were too young to be there, and they did, and they said nothing. Okay, they're all guilty as far as I'm concerned. Now, wait staff circulated through the room carrying trays of drinks and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and Coca-Cola. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses circulating the crowd. Now, the drink was a reddish-yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice and cranberry juice and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. And as you can see, this is a picture of the actual container used by Combs and or his agents and employees to insert the GHB into the alcoholic drinks. Oh, so nefarious. Now, looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms off of it. Now, she entered what appeared to be an empty room. so she could lie down for just a moment. Now, she did not lock the door. This room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any other kind, no televisions or other furnishings. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity named Celebrity B. Okay, that's what they have the person listed as. Now, plaintiff immediately recognized, and let me just say this too, because yesterday when I was talking about this, I said that we don't know if it was, I said I wonder if it was J-Lo or Beyonce, but I would have to say that I don't think it was Beyonce at all, because this happened in 2000. Jay-Z and Beyonce started dating around 1999 or 2000, or I'm sorry, they met around 1999 or 2000, and then it wasn't really put out there that they started dating till like 2001. Okay, so this clearly was more likely than not, allegedly, possibly J-Lo. Okay, but let's continue. Now, I'm saying alleged. All parties are innocent until proven otherwise. So with that all being said, plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he raped her from the front, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. So they're saying that Jay-Z did this first. She was held down. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he raped her, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and raped plaintiff from the front, while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform a fellatio. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. When Combs backed away in surprise, plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and ran out of the room, holding her dress in front of her as a towel, or like a towel. She ran across the residence until she found the front door and was able to leave the party. Although there were other guests still at the party, no one appeared to take notice of plaintiff's distress or attempted to help her. Okay, so it seems like they were used to this, because I can tell you right now, if I'm at anybody's party and somebody, specifically somebody who looks like a young person who shouldn't be there, runs past with no clothing on, looking like they're distressed, scared out of their wits, I'm absolutely going to pay attention to that and know that something is not right. Okay, so the fact that nobody said or did anything just lets me know that these people are used to seeing this kind of stuff. Okay, this is just what it is. So outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route taken by the limo driver. She kept running until she reached a gas station she noticed on the way to the party. A female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff's father arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. After the assault, plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. Plaintiff suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and a seizure disorder caused by stress and trauma. Plaintiff has had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. Okay, so this is all so sad at the end of the day. I want you all to pay attention. This is all so sad. But it goes on to say, by forcing sexual contact onto plaintiff as a minor female, defendants Combs and Carter committed a crime of violence motivated by gender under the Victims of Gender Motivated Protection Act, as defined in New York City Administrative Code. The requirement of that crime of violence be committed because of gender or on the basis of gender and due at least in part to an animus based on the victim's gender is satisfied because defendants Combs and Carter forced minor plaintiff to engage in sexual interaction without consent. Jane Doe could not effectively consent because of her age. The non-consensual sexual touching of a minor herein presented a serious risk of physical injury and, in fact, caused such injury. Okay, so this is all crazy. This is all crazy. So now Jay-Z is in the same boat with Diddy. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. And I want you all to pay attention because This might explain why Jay-Z has been so quiet. Okay, this may explain why Jay-Z has been so quiet. Okay, please pay attention. This is all a shame. It is absolutely a shame. Now, with that all being said, remember I told you all what Jay-Z said to Tony Buzbee on yesterday in that hold on. In the statement that he gave. Now, before we continue, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all been said, let's go to the TikTok I did about this for anyone who missed the statement, because we're going to get into what Tony Buzbee said when he responded.
Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Jay-Z has just been dragged into Diddy's mess. He is now charged with helping Diddy to R-word a 13-year-old back in 2000. Let's get into it. In October, attorney Tony Buzbee filed a lawsuit for a woman who claims that at the age of 13 back in 2000, after the VMAs, she was assaulted by Diddy. She also said at the time that there was another unnamed male there who was a celebrity and also a female. Mind you, this is at the time that Diddy was dating J-Lo. Please pay attention. The woman who's listed only as Jane Doe says that she was taken to the party after she met a limo driver who told her that Diddy would find her to be his type. She gets to the party and is given a drink. She says that she started feeling woozy and lightheaded afterwards. So she went into a room to lie down. Later, after that, Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room, and she says that Jay-Z is the one who unclothed her. And then he and Diddy did things to her without her consent. This is all so sad and absolutely despicable if true. Please pay attention. Jay-Z wasn't initially mentioned in the first filing, and that's likely because Tony Buzbee was probably trying to quietly get him to settle behind the scenes. And when he refused, well, here we are. And also, there was a high-profile person that supposedly sued Tony Buzbee for extortion, and that was likely Jay-Z. Now, on that night of the VMAs in 2000, Diddy was accompanied by J-Lo. Now, I'm wondering if J-Lo was the female that was in the room that remains unnamed. Please pay attention. Also, photographs surfaced from that night when there was an after party and Diddy and J-Lo supposedly got into a heated altercation. But nonetheless, she still ended up leaving with him. But now that we know Jay-Z has been added into the mix, allegedly, of course, well, now I'm sure everybody's wondering, was it J-Lo, the female that was in the room that remains unnamed, or was it Beyonce? This is all getting real ugly. After the lawsuit was filed, Jay-Z came out and issued a scathing statement to attorney Tony Buzbee. I mean, he really went in. Please pay attention. Now, here's what Jay-Z had to say. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I would implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime should be locked away. Would you not agree? Please pay attention. He wants all the smoke. He further went on to say, these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Buzbee, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It's unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. He further went on to say, my heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your moral world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Please pay attention. And also, when he said fake physics, I think he meant psychics. But this is all so nefarious. And at the end of the day, as I'm thinking about it, that couldn't have been Beyonce there with him, because Jay-Z and Beyonce just met around 2000 and then started dating officially, I believe, in 2001. So that would probably rule out Beyonce. It was probably, somebody there with Diddy. Okay, and so I'm sure we could pretty much think or speculate on who that is. Please pay attention. Cat Williams sure wasn't lying when he said it's up for everybody in 2024. So many people and so many different things are being exposed. I mean, we don't know what to expect. But keep in mind that all parties involved and mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Jay-Z and Diddy are both denying all of the allegations.
Okay, so with that all being said, you all heard it. Jay-Z went in, honey, hard in the paint. And he's saying, and here's the thing, Jay-Z's talking all arrogant, he's going in and all of that, and talking about he knows how to deal with this type of stuff. Well, he's had experience, okay? I mean, he's witnessed what's happened to Diddy and to R. Kelly. Okay, he saw that when Diddy settled so quick right out the gate with Cassie, then the floodgates came open and a whole bunch of people came out and started suing Diddy. Jay-Z doesn't want to have that same fate. Okay, so he's talking all tough and acting as if none of this stuff ever even happened. Now, maybe it didn't, but I believe it did. But let's continue, because Tony Buzbee responded to Jay-Z, no less, after that after Jay-Z went in. Please pay attention. Okay. And this is Tony Buzbee when he was in the Marines. Okay. Because remember, Jay-Z brought that up, saying that you were a Marine and this and that. Y'all are supposed to have valor. And so Tony Buzbee says, recognize this guy. This is a picture of the weapons platoon commander, Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, from our old Western Pacific cruise book. Despite a coordinated and aggressive effort that has included harassing my kids, contacting my clients and former clients to encourage them to sue me, contacting my colleagues or former employees asking if I've abused them, showing up at my current employees' homes to harass them, filing frivolous cases against me and my law firm, defaming me with outrageous assertions to anyone who will listen, and having mysterious people follow me and my family, I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also don't allow or won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain that the sun is coming. Well, y'all heard that, honey. He said he's quite sure that the sun is coming. Okay. Clearly he's not playing games. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, and so anyway, and the fact that he says Jay-Z was harassing him, his family, his clients, even his children, this is all what Diddy has been accused of. Remember, Rodney Jones said that allegedly Diddy was harassing him, people that were close to him and knew him, and trying to get those people to give him dirt on him. Basically had some PI doing this, calling these people harassing them, and even an 8-year-old daughter. So they are very much so alike if these allegations are in fact true. Okay? But again, all parties are presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Now, with that all being said, Jay-Z had a whole lot to say as far as I'm concerned. He's clearly not trying to take it lying down. But, at the end of the day, we've heard these things about Jay-Z for a long time. I mean, we absolutely have. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that Jay-Z's lying. I'm just saying that I think he's lying. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, with that all being said, hold on here. So one of Jay-Z's attorneys dragged Tony Buzbee. In lawsuit, Tony Buzbee alleges Jay-Z raped 13-year-old in 2020. In 2000. Okay, so I'm going to skip past all of this and get down to what the attorney had to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so here's what they say. Buzbee was sued in Los Angeles in November by an individual identified as John Doe for alleged extortion. In that suit, Doe claimed that Buzbee was accusing him of multiple incidents of sexual assault, including against minors. It is uncertain whether it was the suit filed by Carter. Well, Tony Buzbee said that it was Jay-Z that filed a frivolous lawsuit against him, and that Jay-Z, in fact, used a pseudonym. He filed it as John Doe. So he was trying to make sure it didn't get traced back to him. Okay, but he did say, in fact, that it was Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. Now, Buzbee has established a pattern of leveling baseless, fabricated, and malicious allegations at high-profile individuals and threatening to name them publicly if they fail to pay exorbitant sums of money. Okay, this is a statement by QueenAShakur Urquhart and Sullivan LLP, the firm representing Doe in that November lawsuit. In other words, represent Jay-Z. Okay, allegedly. Now, Buzbee then uses his money to fund his lavish lifestyle. He has deployed these threats and letters, statements to the press, his website, and on social media in recent months to try to shake down well-known individuals. His tactics are unethical and extortionate. And today, we seek to hold him accountable for his illegal behavior. Buzbee sued QueenAShakur Urquhart and Sullivan LLP last week, accusing the firm of outrageous litigation gamemanship. Okay, now he sued them back. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, the attorney told the Houston Chronicle in the statement that the firm's claims are laughable, saying, "We won't allow the powerful and their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence sexual assault survivors." This is what Buzbee said. "It is obvious that the frivolous lawsuit filed against my firm is an aggressive attempt to intimidate or silence me and ultimately my clients. That effort is a gross miscalculation. I am a U.S. Marine. I won't be silenced or intimidated." And he's serious. He wild, honey, because those Marines don't play the games. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention. Okay, because I know a few. Now, Buzbee is representing more than 100 individuals who allege they are victims of incidents orchestrated or perpetrated by Combs, including violence or sexual assault or rape, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and abuse of minors. Combs has been charged with racketeering. Well, we already know what he's been charged with. So when announcing the civil lawsuits against Combs in a Houston press conference, Buzbee said that he will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors, and that the names that we're going to name are names that will shock you. That's what he said at the time. Okay, so please pay attention. So they tried to drag him at the end of the day. Now, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, with that all being said, hold on. Okay, so this is what Jay-Z said. Okay, after the lawsuit was filed, Jay-Z and Roc Nation responded with a statement on X saying, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and public scrutiny would make me want to settle." Okay, so we know the rest of the statement. But here's what Tony Buzbee said right after that. Tony Buzbee responded with his own statement alleging that Carter had tried to silence him and his client. He says, "Regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous lawsuit case under a pseudonym. Now, what he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of Tony Buzbee at Tony Buzbee 2, December the 9th of 2024. So he said Jay-Z filed under a pseudonym, like I said, okay? Clearly trying to make sure that it didn't get traced back to him. So anyway, it goes on to talk trash again about how Jay-Z's not going to bully and intimidate him or his clients. He's not having any of it. Now, what I do have, and I'm just going to read just a tidbit of it, because Jay-Z if this is in fact true that Jay-Z filed this lawsuit, because somebody filed it. This lawsuit is long. It is 235 pages, and I'm not going to read much of it. I'm just going to read a couple of pages, just so you get the gist of it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay. M. Shanty said, criminally successful black men. Yes, sad but true. Sad but true. Okay, here we go. This is all just a darn shame. Now, as you can see, it says John Doe, plaintiff, versus the Buzbee law firm, Anthony G. Buzbee. Okay. And then it has the attorneys on there, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan LLP. Okay, so with that all being said, plaintiff John Doe is the victim of a scheme by defendant Anthony G. Buzbee and his firm. The Buzbee law firm, collectively Buzbee or defendants, who are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him or else publicly file wildly false, horrific allegations against him. Defendant has threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and malicious allegations of assault, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, against plaintiff if he refuses to comply with their demands. These baseless accusations are nothing more than a weapon in a calculated plot to destroy plaintiff's high-profile reputation for profit, despite the complete absence of any factual basis for such claims. This is not the first time defendant has been involved in an extortionate scheme to extract money from high-profile individuals by threatening baseless legal action. Just 3 years ago, the Federal Bureau of Investigation opened an extortion investigation in connection with defendant's clients pursuant of football player Deshaun Watson for allegations of sexual misconduct. According to Watson's then attorney, the FBI investigated whether one of Buzbee's claimants against Watson had committed extortion in the way they were demanding money, or what they would do if he didn't pay up. Ultimately, the criminal cases defendant threatened to pursue against Watson were rejected by 2 separate grand juries and were never criminally prosecuted. Further evidence that the baseless sexual misconduct claims in defendant's demand letter would not have held up in civil court either. As an example of how the defendants used the media as a weapon to further exert pressure on his high-profile targets, Buzbee publicly proclaimed that he would submit affidavits from the alleged victims to police, but he never did. Okay, so here's the thing. Defendants have also taken up representations against high-profile individuals who were targeted or set up by individuals seeking a payday. For example, defendants brought suit against rappers Yellow Beezy and Chris Brown after 4 men snuck backstage to provoke them into an altercation. In addition to shaking down high-profile individuals with dubious claims he knows will not stand up in court, Buzbee often employs unscrupulous litigation tactics after filing suit. In one notable case, a federal court invalidated referral agreement between Buzbee and a known fact witness in the case, which entitled the witness to 15% of the gross attorney's fees awarded if the plaintiff was victorious. Okay, so anyway, basically he's calling him unscrupulous and saying that he just files these frivolous lawsuits, that he knows he can't win in court, and that he's just hoping that he can get a quick payday, hoping that the person will settle. I absolutely agree with that. I do absolutely agree with that. I think that, in fact, Tony Buzbee, I think that when he came out talking about he had all these people that were going to, be filing suits, he was going to be filing suits for, and he said he's going after everybody who was there, and if you did this, you did that. I absolutely think that he was trying to get these people to settle because he wanted the money. Okay, more so than justice. Now, that's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, now he's coming for Jay-Z's neck because Jay-Z dared to not settle with him. Okay, now the person listed in that filing as Celebrity B, who was the alleged female, okay, I think that person must have settled because he's not coming for them. But since Jay-Z chose to talk trash and try to go hard in the paint, he's like, oh no, now I'm going to drop your name. Okay. And it's not that, I'm not saying that the things that Tony Buzbee is alleging are not true because I don't know. We'll have to wait until it goes to court or what have you, or a settlement is reached. But the bottom line is He's one of those attorneys, in my opinion, who's more about his money than justice for his clients. Okay. And those people, in my opinion, are ambulance chasers. Okay. They're ambulance chasers. Okay. And so, with that all being said, Jabber in New York said, Queen, are you serious? Jay-Z is guilty of rape of a 13-year-old. Well, here's the thing, honey. I'm not going to sit up here and say he's guilty because I'm not trying to get Tasha caved. Okay. I don't know what he did. I wasn't there. I know what the evidence looks like. I believe he is guilty, but I don't know he is guilty. And there's a difference. Now, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, beloved, and get on there and say that he's guilty, you go right ahead. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I don't know for a fact. And if I don't know something for a fact, that's what I don't do, is say it. Okay. Now, I can say what I believe and what my opinion is all day long. Okay. That crazy bitch Eric said, oh, he's guilty. He may be. Y'all can say it in the chat all you want. At the end of the day, y'all won't get sued. Okay. If I say something that isn't factually accurate, I can be. Okay. So I choose my words carefully. Okay. So, like I said, I believe he's absolutely guilty, but I don't know that he's absolutely guilty. So let's continue. All right, let's continue. Don't try to tell me how to say what I want to say on my platform. I mean, if you disagree, that's fine. So anyway, with that all being said, now let's talk about MIA, because, I came upon something very interesting as it pertains to MIA. MIA alleges Jay-Z suggested she get plastic surgery upon signing her in 2012. Now I'm going to play the video, and then we're going to talk about something else that I realized upon digging through my own receipts. I have so many receipts on Jay-Z and Diddy for years. You all know it. Okay, I've been going in on them since 2021, before any of this stuff even came out, and told you guys that they both, I believe, were the feds, and that I believe they had something to do with trafficking. Okay? And me and Odd Negroes Official both said in 2021 that Cassie was going to expose Diddy. Now, I want you all to pay attention, because I've been predicting stuff. And I was also the first one who told you guys that the men would soon come out for Diddy. Okay, so now let's get into it. I'm going to pull up this video real quick. Here we go.
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Rock Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure, because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyonce, because that's it. And enough is enough. I'm fucking coming for everyone now. And even Adele, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager. And bitch, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. So I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. Fuck that. Or be a witch, or be that, all of that. Fuck all of them.
Y'all heard what she said. She said she didn't want to wear devil horns, okay, or be a witch or any of those things. So clearly she's saying that's what they do. And, we're going to talk about that later on the next broadcast at about 6 o'clock. Okay, moderators, please drop the link to the next broadcast about Jay-Z. Please drop that link in the chat, please. Okay, but here's the thing. Now, MIA, that's not the first time she's come out and said something about Jay-Z, because I did a video a while ago about her coming for Jay-Z. But let's talk about this part. This isn't the first time. This is the first time MIA has aired grievances against Rock Nation. Earlier this year, she took to social media with claims that her early career was stifled due to Jay-Z's connections with the powerful Brofman family. Okay, MIA shares a son, Ilk. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's Ikhyd. Okay, Ikt, with Benjamin Brofman, and has suggested that her career sacrifices were made to protect her son. Now she says, and this is a direct quote from her. She says, they ripped me off and copied my style. She wrote this on X back in February, accusing the industry of shadow banning her. Okay, in other words, blackballing her and burying her work. She also alleged, now here's the part to pay attention to. She also alleged that Rock Nation stopped all communication with her, wiping her emails to Jay-Z asking for help. So they got rid of her emails, allegedly, where she was asking Jay-Z for help. Now, why is that important, Queen Ahmadiyyah? Why are you bringing that up? Well, here's why. because I did a video some time ago. Like I said, this was probably in 2021, maybe. I can't remember exactly when I did this video, but it's over a year old or maybe two. But I was talking about how the feds, I think I did this in 2021, I'm pretty sure, how the feds basically called Jay-Z and warned him about his emails. And now she's saying that her emails were wiped clean. Jay-Z's emails that she sent him asking for help.
So anyway, I always thought the backlash was overkill. Yeah, it was perplex. It absolutely was. He was doing the most. Okay, but so anyway, let's talk about that time in 2021. And I reported on this back then when Jay-Z got a call from the feds and they told him to delete some sensitive emails. And I had questions because I was like, first of all, what do they mean delete these sensitive emails? Because he'd already been in some trouble. He'd already had been accused by a judge of deleting evidence for this case where somebody was suing him. I think it was a perfume or cologne company. But anyway, let me dig these receipts up. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, here's what they say. Feds is watching. Jay-Z urged by FBI to delete sensitive emails. Can't ignore it. That's the fastest way to get extorted. Now, that's a line from one of Jay-Z's songs from 1997 called Streets is Watching. According to Complex, Jay-Z was warned by the FBI to delete his emails as he was the target of a recent hacker attack. Now, a source revealed to Complex that there was an imminent attack coming to his email account, and federal officials advised Hov to delete all of his emails just to make sure there wouldn't be any issues moving forward. The report doesn't go any deeper. Okay, so I find it interesting because how did they know that somebody was going to hack his emails? That's what I just like to know. And y'all know I think Jay-Z's the feds. Okay, I absolutely think he's the feds. All right, he's sitting up there working with Desiree Perez, who's a known informant. That's already been verified. I showed you the receipts. Okay, as well as her husband was working for Rock Nation at 1.2 allegedly, and also face federal charges. Okay, please pay attention. And then, not to mention, other sources in the music industry have alluded to the fact that he was a fan. And so I'm just saying, him and P. Diddy. So I find that all interesting. But let me continue. Feds warned Jay-Z to delete sensitive emails. Okay, here's another one. It comes amid a breach of contract lawsuit with Perlux Fragrances about a cologne the rapper launched with the company in 2013.
Okay. Okay, so with that all being said, yeah, I've been looking at JD with the whole side eye. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, so Small Island said, what's the point? The FBI are in cahoots with all the nefariousness. Okay. And so with that all being said, hold on. Let's go to this next clip. And then I'm about to be up out of here.
Now, next up on the list is MIA and Maya. Maya again, because they supposedly teamed up. Now, let's talk about MIA because she recently came out and accused Jay-Z of helping the family, the Brofmans. This is a billionaire that she had a child with. And this man has custody of the child. And she has been fighting him for custody and all of that. But she seems to think that Jay-Z had a hand in it. His name is Benjamin Bronfman. And his family is, they're the heirs to the Seagram's fortune. You may remember when I reported on that cult, okay, with the woman from Smallville, Allison Mack. And there's a woman named Sarah Bronfman. She's an heiress to the Seagram's gin empire also. She's the one who, in fact, paid for all of their attorneys for everyone. If you all remember that, they call it, it's NXIVM. I don't know how they pronounce it, Nexium or something like that. But anyway, British rapper MIA is calling out the United States immigration policies as she continues her struggle to see her 14-year-old son. Now, this came out, like I said, almost 2 weeks ago, like around the 11th. So it goes on to say that
She called out the immigration policies as she continues to struggle to see her 14-year-old son with ex-fiance Benjamin Bronfman. Now, she says, Biden won't let me see my child. This is what she tweeted in all caps alongside a screenshot showing that she's ineligible for a U.S. visa because of her past behavior. The longest processing is meant to be just 2 months, and it's already been that. I have to wait till a Republican wins. Wow, that's what she said. Now, MIA and Bronfman welcomed their son in February 2009, but she's been struggling to maintain custody ever since that they separated in 2012. She accused the billionaire of trying to take her son away from her in 2013 and publicly pleaded with the U.S. government to let her celebrate Christmas with him in December of 2023. Another reason she's upset is because she says that the ex and his, I guess his new wife, the stepmother, they had her child receive the venom without her permission or consent. So she was very bothered by that. She says they basically are saying, I have to wait for Republicans to come to office because 9 months from now is the election. I'm not allowed to see my child I'm not allowed to see my child for stealing food at 18 when I was poor. Yet our government is okay with my child being with family convicted of child trafficking and sex cults. Okay. Yeah, because like I said, some of the members were involved in that whole cult that I told you all about a couple of years ago. Now, the difference between me and migrants coming in is that I can't vote. I'm paying U.S. tax dollars, paying U.S. taxes too. Sick. Now, she's referring to Bronfman's family's involvement in the NXIVM cult, which was led by convicted sex offender and racketeer Keith Rainier. Benjamin Bronfman's grandfather, Edgar Bronfman Sr., was briefly involved in the cult, but later stopped his association with the when he rightly speculated that it was a cult. Sure, he did. Now, his daughter, Claire Bronfman, was convicted on sex trafficking charges for her involvement in the cult.
In prison, could
happened in 2004 during the Best of Both Worlds tour. Okay, R. Kelly filed 7th, okay? February the 10th. Pay attention. This man picture with Jay-Z, you beloved, trafficking, and Jay-Z allegedly has ties to trafficking. Okay, so we're going to get into that in a second, because if those Okay, so I just wanted to remind you guys that I told you all such a while ago that Jay-Z had been accused of being involved in trafficking. Now, I don't know if it's true, but at the end of the day, that's what it was. Okay, somebody said MIA sounds entitled. Well, she might feel that way. At the end of the day, I don't really care for MIA. I don't really care for her because, like I told you all in that video, she was upset because she said Beyonce was out there talking about Black Lives Matter at the Super Bowl halftime when she performed, and that Kanye was talking about Black Lives Matter. And she said, are they going to talk about Muslims' lives matter and all of this? Like, girl, sit down. You can talk about it yourself. I mean, like I told you guys in that video, some people think that Black people are always supposed to be, carrying the banner for everybody else when no one, in fact, carries it for us. Okay, we can't say or do anything for ourselves, defend ourselves, or speak up for ourselves without other groups of people trying to insert themselves in and thinking we're supposed to do the same for them. But where are they when we need somebody to speak up and stand with us? Okay, that's why I don't care for MIA. So anyway, with that all being said, why do these people with money do crazy things? I'm glad I'm poor. Honey, because they have power and privilege. This is why some of them do it. Okay? This is why some of them do it. Vince, I am said facts, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I don't think I left out anything. Like I said, later on, you all make sure you tune in, because I'm going to be talking about Jay-Z and this satanic stuff that he's all involved in, okay, allegedly. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that, okay? So make sure you tune in. Moderators, I hope you drop the link to the next broadcast that starts at 6 o'clock today. I hope you drop the link to the next broadcast that starts at 6 o'clock today. All right. And so that all been said. Hold on. Is CNN talking about Jay-Z? Hold on. Let's see what the legal analyst. Hold on. Let's see what the legal analyst on CNN has to say about Jay-Z, honey. This is all getting real messy real quick. Okay, here it is.
Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning. Good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement. Yeah. He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, you know, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law. But according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touched on point two that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000. Why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
Yes, all right, we will see. All right, Joey Jackson, thanks so much.
All right, so you all heard that. At the end of the day, you have to be careful as an attorney how you word and phrase things, because remember, the attorney that was with R. Kelly, with the R. Kelly case, absolutely got sued for that. Okay, got charged for that and convicted. Okay, absolutely got convicted. So it's all about the presentation, about how you say it, because it can absolutely come off as extortion. And Tony Buzbee, in my opinion, is right on the border. He's teetering right on the border, okay? So anyway, with that all being said, we're going to see how this all pans out. But I'm going to tell you right now, I believe most of what has been said about Jay-Z and Beyonce, it's absolutely true. That's just what I think. Now, maybe you will. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you don't. But like I said, stay tuned, because later on this evening, I'm going to be live in here. We're going to talk about the witchcraft and the nefariousness of it all. Red Wine Entertainment said, "Me too, Queen." Okay, thank you. Okay, so there's the link in the chat for the next broadcast. It's going to be starting at 6. And I should be on time. You guys, I know I hate to be late, and I'm sorry that you had to wait. But I was gathering a couple of more receipts. And so with that all being said, she picked out Jay-Z's lips in a mugshot picture. You are wrong for that, Lorraine. Okay? Nita and Mike Terrell said R. Kelly is singing Happy People. Yeah, because he's going to have company real soon. Okay? Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, Jabber in New York said Beyonce is a clown. We need to pray for her. They're saying that they're reporting that Beyonce has been told that she needs to divorce Jay-Z since this came out. Divorce him for what? They don't think that she knows some of the stuff that Jay-Z's been doing, if not all of it. I have several questions, okay? I have several questions. All right, so that all been said, listen, you all enjoy. Luna said, "Queen, you're worth the wait." Thank you, beloved. Okay, I love you, right, Black Juju. So with that all been said, listen, you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. I love you all to life. I hope you are prosperous in all that you do and endeavor. Don't forget your lifelines, okay? Now, for those of you who've been following me since day one, since 2020, you know that I started giving you the lifelines Thanksgiving Day of 2020, okay? So here we are again, still making sure that you get those lifelines. Andrew said, "Queen, I like it when you laugh." Thank you, beloved. Okay, so make sure you're stocking up on your water, your non-perishable food items. You're getting your solar generators. You're getting candles, flashlights, and all things you need, first aid kits, and everything that you need in the event of a power grid attack, cyber attack, outages, and all of those things, okay? Coronal mass ejections, okay? Because these things are coming. Please pay attention. They've got something in store for us, I'm pretty sure, before Trump gets in office or shortly thereafter. Okay, so please pay attention. With that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther. shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got